So my new role now cut across working with school leaders, teachers, mentoring them, coaching them, because that's what the organization that I work with now, that's what they do. They facilitate sessions, basically education, and then other aspects as well. And also provide consulting services to schools. Yeah. So that's me. So yeah.
So I'm just very happy to be here because anything that have to do with uh, uh, talking about the problems of our society and providing solution to them, not just about discussing them, provide solution to them. I'm actually very interested in it, and I'm happy this kind of thing is coming up in this very sensitive time. Uh, I'm an agitator for all. I hate injustice. That's me personally, and through the club that or the initiative that I have, uh, I try to, let me say, we are bringing back morals and values to our younger ones, which is what is lacking these days. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. You've now passed the mic to someone else. So can you do that?
I can see someone. I'm seeing someone's head. That is Owoyemi. I mean Owoyomi. So take the mic.
All right, thank you for seeing my head. I am Yomi Damilola. I'm a teacher, just like the person that passed the mic to me. I'm a teacher. I'm not an educator yet. I'm a teacher. I teach at a very local place in Lagos State, and I'm also an advocate of quality education. I believe that whatever I'm paid to do, I should do it properly and well, so that I can boast of it anywhere that I did this. And coming together here, we are here to discuss perhaps one of the anticipated problems of education. I'm willing and I'm happy to be part of that discussion. Thank you very much. So, Ominigo, over to you.
Good afternoon. Oh, sorry. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All right. My name is Umini Bumesi. I'm a science teacher. I take biology in Ajugunle, AJCT, and it's really nice to be here. I think the question really struck something in my mind yesterday when I saw the question in the group. I said, I just have to be here to hear from every other person because I shared that same question to my school group and somebody said you do your best and leave the rest.
Mm,
So I wanted to ask what is the best, but I
mm,
don't have strength to drag. So I
mm.
said, let me come here first, gather knowledge, then I'll go back to answer that question. So it's lovely to be here. Thank you for organizing this, and I hope you enjoy the session. All right. So bye for now.
All right. Thank you so very much, everyone, for doing that. I mean, such an honor to be here. It wasn't like um a pre-planned session actually. I think I was telling Damela yesterday that I was actually, thinking about this same question during the course of the week, right? Basically, like I said, what my organization that I work with right now does, that's Core Skill Transformational Academy. So I was just trying to just wrap my head. So immediately I saw the question, I was more like, exactly what is on my mind. Can we just share and let's hear? And let me also say that we would be sharing this with other people that are not able to join this call, because trust me, like I said, it's a conversation that we're trying to share our eyes away from. And then parents are leaving it to the teachers to figure out, right? The student too, maybe on their own side too, they are not even thinking about the effect of all of this. Maybe the government are not also thinking about it, right? Because I see that some states are saying that they should still hold on in their own state, they should not resume yet. They're saying the boarding students should not resume yet. And the day students are resuming, how sure are we that we're going to be able to record even 50% of attendance this new week that the school is resuming? So permit me to ask this first question that I've highlighted here, that can we share um, what are the specific challenges that we think this current situation in Nigeria where the fuel price has increased, the price of things has increased, the livelihood of people have increased. What are the challenges that we think that we as teachers, the students, or even the school as a whole are likely to face at this time, even as school resumes? Please, can we share that in 1 or 2 minutes? So I don't want to call names. So but if I
I was just sitting down a few days ago. I was trying to plan for the new term. Then I was trying to imagine how the new term would be. Initially, last the I that come very late to school, and the work was not so efficient. So then, in looking at the cost of living, even teachers are contemplating on going to school 3 times in a week. These are teachers that actually earn more than earn salary. Not to now talk of students, who are not earning, who depend on their parents. And uh, with my own opinion, in a state like Lagos State, education is primarily the second alternative of many of the people. Students prefer to work for money than to come. They prefer things that gives them immediate reward for their activities. Unlike going to school that is relatively a future kind of plan. So that the issue is in general. Edo State recently announced that it has postponed the resumption of students due to the recent hike in fuel, and in Lagos State also the model schools shifted their resumption by a week, but the regular schools are set to resume tomorrow. All right. So looking at all of this development now, students are coming from most of the children of those who are coming to public schools are children of low income people who are either hawkers, who sell by the roadside, and then house helps and so on. Those are the persons that are enrolled in public school. That if there is no money to even let us even leave the transport aside. What about feeding? It is only someone that is well fed that will even be eager to come to school at all to come and learn. Now adding up transport fare to it, then I expect that some parents will tell their children to stay back, and maybe Tuesdays that they will come. Okay, it's Friday is a half day. If they don't go on Friday, go on Monday. And it will fall back on teachers. I cannot imagine me myself teaching a topic today, a preliminary topic today, and expect to build up on the foundation by next class, and then student miss the first class. So this a kind of issue that we probably that will most likely ensue in the course of the next session. That is a problem that's currently on ground. I I don't know if we share the same opinion about the problem. Perhaps I should pause my mic for now. That we first identify many other problems that may arise before we start to find solutions to them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. If I was able to hear you very well, you mentioned the point about, you know, children that are resuming tomorrow. Most of them are from low income backgrounds. Their parents are looking for means of survival. So some of them and even end up staying at home. They will tell you that they have to go to the market to go and sell first before coming to school. So I can only imagine what the problem is. Some of them that like coming to the government school in the like on the land. Some of them will be leaving Makoko community around 9 o'clock, and I'll be wondering what time will this child get to school. And when you ask them, these are the answers that they will give you, that they needed to help their parents before getting money to go to school. So these are some of the things that might likely happen. Some of them can even say their children should stay at home and not bother going to school. So welcome Esther. Good to have you here. So I'll be passing the mic to Mr. Soledayo to share his thought about some of the challenges that you think might actually like come up as school is resuming, looking at the educator side and or the teacher side, and then looking at the student side. Yeah.
Thank you very much. When I was coming today, I got to Lagos this very evening, not quite long. I was thinking about just what we are discussing now. Just like what Damilola said. The first thing that we will find inevitable is absenteeism on behalf of the teachers. Now, let me say everybody has entered anger zone. Most people are ready to para for anybody that's worth paraing for. What do I mean? In this kind of situation that we find ourselves, you even see that most of the bosses, they will want to press it low on their younger staff, in the sense that except you are blind, you will not be able to see the realities of things that is going on in our society. So, and this we warrant, if you observe, okay, maybe Daniela can testify to this. If you observe, like some weeks ago, maybe last week rather, a memo was passed around about people should be giving respect to the senior officer or something like that. I know it's because of it might be because of something that has happened in the past, but right now more of it will happen. I don't know, but right now more of it will happen. Any boss cannot prioritize me to stretch when I have little or nothing in my stomach. I think you get that. People we want to be managing their self. Let me just put it that way. People want to be managing their self just because of the situation. So this will warrant absenteeism. Okay, Oga, I may not be able to come to school tomorrow. Even some people we be absent in school even without getting permission from their bosses. And at the end of the day, now sorry go hand down because I can't come and die. That's one thing I observe and that I foresee. And secondly, even on behalf of the students as well, absenteeism will be very rampant. I just imagine while I was coming today, the TV has increased almost by maybe 40 or 50%. It has increased. Some of these children will tell you they are trekking, they will take a bus to a certain location, they will trek from that place to where they are going to. Now, when the transportation fare now has increased, and there is no substantial increase in the income of everybody, whether you are salary earner as we speak as of today, no increase in the income of people. Now, considering these people, these students in questions, most of them they are from underserved community, from less opportuned family. So coping with these kind of things, even when discouragement will be there on behalf of the parents, parents that can only afford a 500 naira for you to go to school, and now that 500 naira is not even enough to transport you. So are you saying that kind of parent will even encourage you to go to school? So he or she will rather tell you maybe you can stay at home today, tomorrow you go to school. That's one. And secondly, for the people that are serious among the students that will want to come to school, late coming will be rampant as well. Because these days, people treks. Me too don't trek tire when I went to Ibadan. So because I can't imagine you want to go to this place, they be you. Let me go take on my leg this Benz. So that is second thing I will observe. Late coming will be rampant. For the serious one that want to come to school, they will either trek so that they can get where they are going to, or try to maximize the little resource they have. That's second, on behalf of the students, late coming. Then the third one I will talk about on behalf of the teacher is that there will be low morale. Let me just put it that way. Because one thing I observe is that if you look at our job, when I critically observe teaching job, I look at it. Can I be rich in this job? Because all the people I'm seeing around me, the way they portray the profession is like is being branded with poverty. And I begin to look at that. This is absolutely no. I can have whatever I want to have. I can be whosoever I want to be, right in this very profession. It's only you how to go about your way. But now, with the kind of people we met in service, considering the senior officers, the older ones, their morale will be drastically low. Will be drastically low because even before now, children will come and call you. We have this also, but they will tell you, hey, I can't come upstairs. Maybe if you have time, can come down. Me that have not eaten, you want me to go and collapse in your class? And that's the bitter truth. Even when supervisor comes to your class, come to school, they will tell you your head first. So people will be hiding under this because when you are not happy, our job is a job that you have to do with passion. So when you are not happy enough, I don't know how well your children will enjoy the class. So this is one thing I think can be a challenge as well. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Solidar, for sharing that. I mean, those are points that are very like important. We can't just shy away from it. Teachers' morale being reduced. There will be issue of absenteeism, and then the issue of late coming. It's another issue entirely. So yes, these are points that need to be taken notes of, and then we should look for a way to go about it. How can we really help ourselves? And that's why we're having this conversation. So I'm going to be um, spreading this question, and I'll be posting it to Miss Mercy. That how can this fluctuating attendance? I think that's one thing that we cannot shy away from. The issue of absenteeism, low rate of attendance. How can this and missing of classes? I'm happy that you're a science teacher. So how can this have effect or impact the student learning and engagement in the classroom, even as school resume? So how can this impact their learning and engagement in the classroom? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. To start with, I'll say sometimes even when students are in class and everything is going well, some of them still have difficulty catching up what you are teaching them because we all learn at different rates. Now imagine a child that now missed the class completely because of maybe the child came late and first period is over, maybe um or maybe the child was not even in school at all for any reason, maybe because of transport or anything. Definitely that child will be left behind. And I think this the results of all these things are always seen when they start writing as external exam and you see students failing. Some of them have never heard of this topic before. Why some will say I've been taught, where were you? So it has its own effect on the side that people that are not around will definitely miss out on those topics. I remember when I was in 100 level, doing mathematics class. I don't like mathematics. So when I got to 100 level, I didn't know I would do math. So I asked a question and the lecturer said, didn't you go to SS3? I felt ashamed of myself. That was the last time I asked question in like in a general class because everybody just started laughing. MTH 105, I can never forget. And this was because when I was in SS2, I felt sick. I think for a whole time I was not in school. So I missed out almost everything and I did not repeat that class. So all this and most of the time, most of the topic taught in SS2, SS3, these are the same topic you are still going to take in 100 level, just on a different, um, maybe a more packaged, or let me say, are not lucky enough to get a chance to do it again because even sometimes the number of week we have is not even enough to cover some of the topic in the scheme of work because in the scheme of work some topic is just for 1 week but in real life sometimes you have to spend 2 weeks 3 weeks on some topics. So that means already when a child misses it's gone for life already. So I think that is also one of the effect of children missing school. And yeah, I think that's one of the effect. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that amazing thought. I mean, it's a lot, especially for science students. I remember that even when I was attending school regularly, I was still having issue with my chemistry. I was still having issue with my physics. Not talk of a student that would now miss a particular topic. And then I don't think, just like Mr. Solida you have said, a teacher whose morale is already low, you won't expect that kind of teacher to now say, let me take that student again on that particular topic, or let me take the class again when there are other topics lined up for the term. It's a big issue. It's a serious conversation. And the truth is, at this point in time, educators and teach, or let me say teachers generally, we just have to be strategic about what to do. We know there's going to be a lot of challenges at this very point in time. So let me ask this question. Let me throw it to Miss Sarah Joseph. That do you think at this time, what effect do you think, or let me say, what effect do you think disciplinary actions, just like when the student comes late and all of that, will have on that student? Should we even impose any disciplinary action on any student at any point in time this term? I mean, this session that we know that we'll mention it, that student will come late, some of them might even have to trek. So should we just leave them and not say anything and just say it's actually because of what is happening in the country, so let's just leave these children to just act the way they can? Or what are the things that you think we can still do to probably ensure that these children kind of come early to school if it's possible, in your own thoughts? Thank you so much.
All right, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Adetomiwa, thank you for throwing this question to me. Okay, seriously, a lot is happening in the country, and a lot of children are going to be um suffering it. Like they are going to see the whole thing. Like most especially children in undeserved communities. I was actually talking to there's this child I actually teach. So I asked him. He said he now goes to school by himself, and I was like, how comes you go to school all by yourself? He said yes, that he does that. Okay, do you walk down to school? He said no. So he usually go to school using the school, the bus, the general public bus, but they don't actually pay. They don't pay money for their transport. They don't collect money from children under let's say teenagers, children from below the age of 18. Let me just say children. So if you're an adult, that means that you're from the age of 18 upward. So, but we in Nigeria, it is different. Our children will still pay money down to school. So the only thing I can do as a teacher, or what we can do to help these ones, is never their fault. It's never their fault coming late to school. They just found themselves in these communities. So the best thing we can do is to encourage them, talk to them about other experiences, maybe like the one I had now of a child I was actually having an interaction with, who told me that he doesn't have to pay bus fare to school because their country they don't pay. Children don't have to pay all of that. So I'll have to encourage this learner of mine. I'll tell this learner, okay, this is what is happening in other countries. If you guys can just keep on working hard, Nigeria is going to become a better place tomorrow. And your own children will not have to pay money to come down to school, just like the way you are doing now. So other people, I believe they fought for that. And right now things are going well for them. So I'll just look for a way to encourage this child. Disciplining them, beating them up is never part of it. Like even punishing them in the class is never going to be a good help to these children. Never. I'm not going to advise anyone to to put up any disciplinary action on these children because they are coming late to school, most especially now that the price of fuel is high. But I know there are some kids that their houses are are close by, sorry. And these ones, because they are lazy, so they'll just want to come to school late. So these ones, you can still talk to them, you can still encourage them and help them to know the importance of coming to school early. Try to give them money task. This is what you're coming to do. This is if you don't do this, it will keep on waiting for you. And then you're going to this is good, maybe you set some disciplinary acts at the end of the day. Okay, this is what is going to happen if you don't do this. I believe that will make them to come early. Like the children in my school, they come early to school because they all have different tasks, different morning duties that each child have to do. So this makes them to come to school very early. So if a portion is not well swept, if a portion is not cleaned, then the discipline I know the school discipline master will just come and then call that child out, and he or she will have to go and do that particular work. So they can do that for children that are close by, but those that are coming from a far distance, we can just keep on encouraging them, helping them to know the importance of um their studies, their education, and how to transform this country to become a better place. Thank you.
I mean, thank you so much for sharing those insightful words. I mean, I totally agree with you 100%. This time is not a time to really discipline any child because you don't even know what the child is going through at home. Maybe that child had to even buy his or her freedom to even come to school, saying, "Mommy, please, I don't want to follow you to the market. Let me go to school." And then the child getting to school and the teacher now saying, "You came late," and started beating or giving some disciplinary actions and all of that. Yes, I totally agree with you. It's a time to encourage ourselves, encourage the children, such that the education system can actually have a total turnaround. And I believe that it will have that eventually. So I'm going to be posting this question to Miss Joy Ifai. I'm so glad that you were able to join in, ma'am. Thank you so much for all you do in the education space. It's so nice to always read about your amazing work that you do. I'm going to be asking this question, ma'am. In what ways can we as educators support each other and share resources to cover the gaps caused by fluctuating attendance? I'm going to come again. In what ways can we as educators support each other and share resources to cover the gap caused by fluctuating attendance or caused by this current situation that we find ourselves in Nigeria? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good to be here. Already enjoying the conversation that's happening. And I really want to comment the conversation because sometimes I think that as educators, we just need a space to just talk. Not really about one training topic or one, just have discussions like this and enrich our understanding. So, in what way can we support ourselves? So, first of all, I'll start with saying that one of the things that we should know as educators is the fact that collaboration is the new currency. Collaboration is what we expect from our children. And so, as educators, we need to model it. When I'm teaching, I find it easier to model and then let my children do it. Because when I model and they do it, it's easier for them. They've seen me do it. And so it's now easier for them to just follow my steps. So if we're always talking about 21st century skills or collaboration, we should be the very first set of people to model it. So one thing and one way we can maximize resources is by collaborating. And then it's by networking and being open-minded. So you have you're an educator in a school, and then today you're supposed to take a class. And you saw that you had just 5 students in your class, right? What's there for you to collaborate with the next teacher and say, probably the next day, oh, I'm not going to have, for subject teachers, right? I'm not going to have this class. Is there a way you can just chip in this conversation with your students during your class? You've been able to collaborate with your students, and you find out that if that teacher accepts to do what you have asked, that we always want to keep it to ourselves, right? You have not finished your scheme of work. You're not sharing with the next teacher. You're not sharing your challenges. You just feel like, if I tell this person what I'm going through in my classes or in my classroom, this teacher might feel that I'm not doing a lot. So we want to keep it to ourselves because everybody wants to be the best. You know, that crave for, oh, this one is the best teacher, this one. So everybody doesn't, nobody wants to show his weakness. And so educators tend to keep things to themselves. They don't want to share, they don't want to tell other teachers, what they are going through. And you forget the fact that sometimes the solution just lies in the next teacher.
Mm,
I'm telling you, the solution to your problem just lies in the next teacher because we all do not know the same thing, right? I might know something that you don't know, and it is only when you share that problem with me that I will be able to help you. But when you don't share it, how would I know that you're going through that challenge? When I was a supervisor in a school where I was teaching at a time, That was when COVID hit. And for me, I'm tech savvy, so it was very easy for me, right? It was very easy for me to just migrate online. I could teach my because the school was a big school in Lagos, and they expected that teachers would just hop online. But some teachers had to reach out to me that, oh, Missy Fine, please, oh, I really don't know how to use Zoom. I know that you know these things. What did I have to do? Create a separate section and say, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you share. This is what you do. Or if your class is supposed to be on Google Meet, this is what you do. Now, if those teachers did not come out plain to show that they had this weakness, they won't have gotten solution to their problem, or maybe the management would have found out in their productivity that something is missing. So I feel that in summary, what I'm just trying to say is one of the two ways that we can mitigate the challenges that we're going through right now is one, collaborate, two, communicate.
Hmm.
And I think it will solve a large majority of our problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma, for sharing that. I mean, collaboration. I think that's just like she rightly said. It's a new currency. We can't do it all by ourselves. We need to really work with ourselves. We can't say, "I just want to be on my own." Just I think I was also sharing it sometimes with someone, and I said that at this point there is no competition. We're all working towards achieving the same goal. There's nothing like I'm competing with this person. Is to ensure that we are doing well where we are. And the truth is, we can't live in this world, especially in this sector that we are in isolation. We can't do anything in isolation. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing that answer. Collaboration and communication, even with our students. Let's ask them, how can we actually help them? What are the things they will just be surprised that even the question that we don't have answers to, these children will provide answers to us, because at the end of the day they are the ones who are impacting. So they know the best way to actually say, yes, this is how we think you should help us. This is how we think those that are, lagging behind, those that are coming late to school, this is how we can actually help them. And I so much agree with that answer 100%. All right, moving forward, I'm going to be calling on Miss Ajibade Busayo to answer this question or share our thought about this question, while Mr. Um, Damilola will be sharing his own thoughts about the question as well. All right. What actions do we think we can take? We've mentioned a couple of things. So, what actions do you think, looking at all those problems, looking at all those things that we've highlighted from the start of this conversation, what are the steps, action steps that you think we can help, that we can take collectively that will help us, navigate through this journey or these challenges that we're facing currently? What are the action steps that maybe you think you would want to take in your class or in your school, or that you can suggest to us that we can actually, take? Thank you.
They are going through. So if there's a way I can help them, once in a while, as much as I'm complaining that the economy is bad, it's still better somehow for me than somebody else. Like life is like easier, like life is more easier for everybody than another person. So for any of the students in class that I can help, maybe I will try and reach out to them and help. Sometimes their transport fare is maybe around 500. I'm not saying I will now go around and start distributing money. It's not going to be easy for me as a teacher as well. But in any way I can help, personally as a teacher, I can help. And at the same time too, if I remember when I just got into the job, there was a colleague of mine that was practically paying my transport every afternoon for like a week. So sometimes you give people 500 and it's like you give them 5 million. So sometimes if you can just decide to reach out to your friends in school, I mean our colleagues now, once in a while, just try and check on them. Alpha, let me pay for from here to the next bus stop, just to help ourselves, just like I don't know if Miss Joe, Mrs. Joy said, collaboration and all that. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much. I mean, I totally agree with that as well. We need to help ourselves at this very point in time, because there are some people that they are really going through a lot, much more than what we are going to. or going through rather. Excuse me. So I'm going to be reading what Ms. Busayo said here. She said, at this point we are in the country, I think schools should begin to make virtual classrooms a part of their schools. This, I believe, will bridge the gap. For early years or preschool, parents who can should subscribe to homeschooling. I mean, that's another point, subscribing to homeschooling. So more of there's just one thing that has, been coming up in my mind about the solution to all of this problem. And it's just that I'm looking at how effective it can be. And that's why I'm going to be passing it to Mr. Soledayo to ask this question in addition to the action plan. Do you think that technology or online resources or blended learning models can help students during this time, even in government schools? Thank you.
Okay, I believe there is nothing too difficult to do if there is a proper way of implementing it. The only thing I've seen our government getting wrong is that when they want to implement their policies, they do get misguided. Let me put it that way. They don't follow it the way it should be. Actually, in my school, we have more than enough facilities to go online. When I got there, I was trying to search through a room and I began to see different servers, where you can connect a lot of computers to internet. About three places in my school are with computer internet facilities. But my dear, let me tell you this. What I observe teacher using the internet to do is to watch movies,
Mm,
download movies, YouTube, and Instagram. What do you expect the student? Just like uh, what someone said, you should be a model. I guess that should be joy. You understand? All these things. What happened to a core project that Fashola did in Lagos? I still see the dead tab in the core project. It's very possible. Most of these students, for my handles using my handles or Formulabi on all social medias. It's students that tell me to operate them. I'm not someone that can. That's why I can't. You rarely see me posting things. I give it to students to help me to monitor all those things. So I agree that these children they can actually use these devices very well, very well. I believe there is nothing too difficult to do if there is a proper way of implementing it. The only thing I've seen our government getting wrong is that when they want to implement their policies, they do get misguided. Let me put it that way. They don't follow it the way it should be. Actually, in my school, we have more than enough facilities to go online. When I got there, I was trying to search through a room and I began to see different servers, where you can connect a lot of computers to internet. About three places in my school are with computer internet facilities. But my dear, let me tell you this. What I observe teacher using the internet to do is to watch movies,
mm,
download movies, YouTube, and Instagram. What do you expect the student? Just like uh, what someone said, you should be a model. I guess that should be joy. You understand? All these things. What happened to a core project that Fashola did in Lagos? I still see the dead tab in the core project. It's very possible. Most of these students, for my handles using my handles or Formulabi on all social medias, it's students that tell me to operate them. I'm not someone that can. That's why I can't. You rarely see me posting things. I give it to students to help me to monitor all those things. So I agree that these children they can actually use these devices very well, very well. Talk about this social media of a thing, they can use it very well. So If you introduce them to Zoom, to Google Meet like this, they can actually flow. But my problem is, what about the teachers themselves? Are they trained? Fashola invested billions of naira on this technology. The people that will use it, you leave them behind. But they brought ICT centers around schools in Surulere. Who are the people that will use it? As the facilitator, the teachers, let me say, most teachers we find in public schools, I'm not speaking for private schools now because you make it peculiar to public schools. Most of the teachers we find in public schools, they can't handle, they can't use this technology. Go to Osun State as well. Fashola distributed Okmomo, almost 7 billion naira. How many teachers can operate the tab? Talk less of the students. I was there for volunteer some years ago. What I saw was the children that only use it to watch movies, irrespective of the different facility that was loaded on it. Let me tell you this one. We have something we call NLP, Nigerian Learning Passport. I don't know why it has been, I guess it's been run by Ministry of Education, probably. This app was brought to school last year, I guess, that it was compulsory for OSS3 to register on. But let me tell you, they don't use it. Even we teachers, we don't use it. It was last week when we were forced to go and do a course on that very app. I begin to see how teachers are running neta to do a course on a app. Do you understand? So I will try to implore the government. They should take training, especially in technology, for teacher are very compulsory. And if all these things are properly done, going technologically will be very easy in the education sector. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your thought. I'll be passing it to Miss Joy Ifeanyi. She raised her hand. Thank you so much, ma, for willing to share.
Yeah. So I just saw that the meeting will end in 8 minutes. But why Mr. Omoluabi, I don't know, sorry if I'm murdering the name. So while you were speaking, I just asking myself if we lack teachers training or we have behavioral problem,
Mm.
because I don't know if it is teachers training that will solve it or if it is just an attitudinal problem, because I see that both government, both institutions, everywhere, trainings,
Mm.
but do they really reflect, especially in public schools? It's different in the private schools because you know that everything is, you're being checkmated every time. But public schools now, if not for this app you're talking about, maybe if not for the exam, those teachers won't even take it seriously. So would you say there wasn't a training? So I feel it has to do more on our attitude, especially in public sectors. Just to add to what you said.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I mean, the attitude. Attitude is everything. Because the truth is, we can keep training ourselves, just like Mr. Asoli that you rightly suggested that teachers should be trained. But then, another question I'm asking is, how many teachers are really willing to get trained? I've met some couple of teachers. I would say, it's just for you people now. You're the young generation. You're the one that is just coming up. We don't need all of that. We don't need it. And sometimes when they even find themselves in trainings like that, maybe it's their principal or the head of school that compels them that you have to be in that training. At the end of the day, just like Miss Joy said, there's no form of reflection that, okay, how can I do this? Mr. Sodela, you mentioned that he sometimes will call the student that, please come and help me with this. But how many teachers are really willing to say, let me go extra mile, even after I've been trained to, implement those things? And that's why I'm going to be sharing that the flyer that I shared about this virtual conference that we're having right now, I designed it myself. Mr. Adam Lala is my witness. I designed it within 30 to 1 hour last night. That's when I designed everything. And I was like, share your thoughts. What do you think? I was also in a training like that. But if I didn't take time to reflect, all the designs that I've designed a certificate. The former session that I had, was it 2 weeks ago? I was one that designed it. I also designed something for someone. In fact, I recently designed my CV, and someone in, let me say, my current boss that I'm working with, she was telling me that I feel intimidated looking at your CV. And I was just on that training, and I decided to actually have a reflection and ask myself, how can I actually be better at this? I mean, it's in as much as it's a general thing, it's also a personal thing that we actually need to look into individually. So let's have Mr. Damilola Oyomi to give us an answer to that question um before we hear from Miss Busayo. Thank you.
All right. Am I to talk now?
Yes, yes, please. Yes, yes.
Uh, all right. Thank you very much. So I I have to check my Abraham Maslow's hierarchical classification of needs again, and I discovered that at the base of the classification we have food, water, shelter, clothing as the major needs. That this physiological need that will happen to people immediately if issues like this occur, which means that the problem we are facing is fundamental, and there is practically this or nothing we can do to resolve all of these things. But then, as educators, there are things that we can do in our own classroom to enhance our teaching, and one of them is by pre-recording our classes.
Mm,
I have something I have done and I'm still doing, and I believe it is an effective way to even pass our lesson to our students. Even without having the sight of this absenteeism in mind, I believe initially at the end of last term that if I pre-record my class, my students at their own convenience can go over this lesson and learn even when they are at home. So that for a 45 minutes class, it will take you less than 5 minutes to pre-record it on your own, and students can always watch over and over again. It might not be useful for mathematics, but then to explain the basics of mathematics is could be useful, so that if we are in our home, we can record a class for 5 minutes, put it on our drive or perhaps on YouTube, then we can actually share with students. So even if you're not in the class, you can still partake in the class at your own convenience. And for those that comes to the class, even if you don't understand, at your own convenience, you can watch the video again and get the concept that has been taught. I think that could be a great one. As the other speaker said about collaboration, it means that my video I can also share with my mates, which I'm also planning to do, share with my fellow teachers. This video could be useful for your students in the class, so that that way too, even if you don't make the video, you can have persons that will make the video that you can use for your students, that can make them to follow up with the class and don't miss anything. Another thing also beyond the issue of teachers now is that we should perhaps, if possible, at the end of this meeting, we can have a kind of communique or a kind of written report to just for a publication that even the government should. This is the right time for government to introduce back. We introduce free lunch for the students,
mm,
so that if I know that when I come to school, I am going to get free, even when I don't have money, for the little money I have with me, I can use it to transfer myself to school, because I know that when I get to school, I'm going to get free lunch. So this could also start motivate students to come to school with the current issue we have on ground. There is no way we can quantify. They say they gave bus to carry students, they will still collect money. They give this to, but this free meal I think can be useful, especially in primary schools, to encourage students to come to school and come and learn. I believe in Lagos State, the BLT carries student free of charge, but BLT plies major road and not local roads.
mm.
What happens to students plying local roads? Local roads, I cannot say. This and in a long way. So two suggestions from my own side: for teachers, let us record our class. It's useful for our students. Then also government can bring back the free lunch program. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Damilala, for sharing that thought. I'll be passing the mic to Miss Mercy to share what action step does she want to take, or would she suggest that we take as educators. And Miss Ajibade will be sharing her thought in the chat box, and I'll be reading that to us once she drops it. And meanwhile, our call will end in about 15 minutes, so I would want us to run up on time. Thank you.
All right. So I know this solution that I think of might not really work for everybody because, but let me say it anyway. For me, I think one of the things I did last section and before then was to use social media to get people to donate money to buy books and all that for my students.
All right, just to round off, I would just say, can we share one or two things that we just maybe an encouragement to teachers all around there, because this, like I said, will be posted for other teachers who join. They'll be able to listen to it. They'll be able to hear our thoughts. So, how can we advise in just 30 seconds, please? I'll start with Mr. Solidayo, and then from after Mr. Solidayo, Mr. Damlala should take it up from him, and then after that, Miss Messi should take it up, and then Miss Sarah should take it up. Just 30 seconds. What is that word that we can say to other teachers to encourage them, even as we resume? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. I still remain what I stand for, Omoluabi. In anything you are doing, don't jeopardize your Omoluabi. That is just it. If you are to work, work diligently. If you are to teach, teach diligently. Just like the popular saying that whatsoever that is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So anything, just make sure nothing jeopardize your Moluabi. So that's my own word of advice and encouragement for the teachers.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Damilola. Please, in just 30 seconds, what word of encouragement or advice would you have for other teachers that will be, watching this replay? Thank you.
All right, I just want to say that the problem we are talking about is a fundamental one. It is not caused by us and them. We may not be able to solve it. So we should only do our best. Let's do what we can do and then leave the rest. Do your best and leave the rest. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Miss Mercy, please, your words of encouragement or advice.
Okay, what I'll say is let's just remain kind. Um, if we remain kind to ourselves as human, I think the world will be a better place. Let's be kind to ourselves in our words, in our actions, even towards the students and our colleagues as well. Everybody is going through a lot already. Do not be evil. Don't go and stress anybody at work. Just be as kind as you can, and God help us.
Much. At this point, I will be saying a very big thank you to every one of us that joined the session, both on the other link and this new link. Thank you so much. I know time is money. Time is so important to every one of us. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And like I said, I'll be sharing the link to watching the replay of this session with other educators. Hopefully this time I won't have issues with audio just like I had during my last session. Thank you so much. And I will say that just let's help ourselves, let's collaborate, let's help ourselves. If there's need for you to reach out to someone, please do that. If there's need for you to speak to someone, please do that. We need ourselves at this time, and together we can do so much in this dispensation or this time that we are in. And I'm sure that yes, we're going to pull through. I want to say happy resumption to everyone. I want to say that we're going to be having an amazing term. We're going to be having an amazing session, and I hope that God will always see us through. And please let's watch out for a couple of sessions. It might be just recorded one. I might not have to like people to come around like this, because I know that teachers will be busy during this time. I might just have to do like a recorded session, because these are some of the things that I'm willing to do now in my new workspace. I have that, just like I said, working with teachers, with leaders, with educators, with schools. That's what my new role entails, and also working with the management of the organization. So from my humble self, added to my office, I want to say a very big thank you, and I ask that you enjoy the rest of the week, enjoy the rest of this month. Happy resumption. Thank you.